join us for a rainy day in Asakusa.
We're just having a stroll around, seeing what we find. There's famous Senso-ji Temple in its gardens, a free observation deck, some interesting shops.
An abacus shop. You don't see that every day.
Why you shouldn't go to the SkyTree on a rainy day, an orange road, a street full of Tanuki statues, and we'll meet this little guy. Let's start the day with a quick breakfast.
Bill's got honey raisin scone. I've got a coffee cinnamon bun. This looks really good. It's a banana and black sesame smoothie. This smoothie is really good. It's really strong sesame flavour. I love sesames. Now this looks very ornate. It's just on display in the station. That gold is really shining. This isn't going to be a tour of everything there is to see here. We've got a few spots we want to hit, and other than that we're going to see what interesting things we come across. It still looks pretty busy here even though it's a rainy day. There's the metro station. We've dipped into this covered shopping street mainly because it's covered and it's raining today. There were lots of rickshaw drivers back there if you want to have a ride around Asakusa in a rickshaw. Well, that's good. This restaurant has a vegetarian menu available. It's a soba restaurant. It's just inside this covered walkway. Look at this strawberry treat shop. It says unforgettable bliss on the first bite. Wow, that's a lot to promise. This kiosk serves Mont Blanc, which is a chestnut flavoured cake. They've got a matcha one as well. They pipe the icing on top. It's not really icing, it's more of a mousse, and they're really delicious. There are so many snacks along here. Lots of people do kimono rental in Asakusa as well. I've already seen a few people wearing them. You could get some pretty nice pictures, but it is also quite crowded, so it'd be hard to get any pictures without anyone else in them, I think. We're crossing over the main street leading up to the temple. Where we're headed is that building up there, which is the Tourist Information Centre, where you can get a view of the temple and this street. Some of the shops along here are pretty touristy, but there are some good snacks along here too. There's dango, teriyaki onigiri, cucumber mochi, 300 or 400 yen. That doesn't seem particularly overpriced, surprisingly. Right now it's 11:30 on a Wednesday, on a rainy day, and it's still pretty busy along here. I'm sure at the weekend it's even more crowded, so I'd come on a weekday if you can. Right now the temple's behind us up that way, and this is Kaminarimon Gate, the thunder and lightning gate at the entrance to Sensjo-ji. We're going to go through the gate and across the road to get to the Tourist Information Centre. There's so many people having pictures here. Here's the Tourist Information Centre with the free view, and down this road you can see the Golden Poop and the Asahi Building. You can go up that as well. There's a bar where you can have a beer and see a view of the river. The Asahi Building is supposed to look like a beer with the gold beer and the white head on the top. Here's the Asakusa Culture Tourist Information Centre. I wonder if they've got a stamp. Various leaflets and maps in here. It says the stamps on the second floor. There's some Asakusa gachapon in here. You can get these little chicks or woodblock print keychains. On the 7th floor you can do a calligraphy workshop for free every 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month. Here's the stamp, and if you don't have a stamp book you can buy this paper for 10 yen. The middle didn't come out. It's of Sensjo-ji and the little samurai mascot. Oh look, it's a kumade like I drew for my calendar. These are rakes that you buy at New Year or just before the end of the year to rake in good luck and good business in the new year. Rakugo is traditional Japanese comic storytelling. They have it every 2nd and 4th Sunday, and it's free. Oh wow! Where's the SkyTree gone? Oh dear, you wouldn't get much of a view from up there today. This morning we were just looking up things to do on a rainy day in Tokyo, and I've got to say the Google AI suggestions were terrible. They suggested we go to Shibuya Sky, where there wouldn't be a good view on a rainy day, and Miyashita Park, which is all outside, so I wouldn't trust the AI suggestions. See the river, there's the Asahi Building again. I wonder if this is open in the evening, it would be a really nice view. There's the Mimaru Hotel. There are a couple of benches up here, but it's quite busy. This is the Senso-ji side. That shopping street looks really long from up here. We came into it about halfway down today. So you can see the main temple building, the pagoda. Over there, that yellow spike is from Hanayashiki, which is an old theme park. We're taking the stairs down because those lifts were really busy. Looks like they've got a few mascots here. Now here's the road leading up to Senso-ji again. Lots of rickshaw people at the end of the street. So that's the main shopping street up the middle. There are more kiosks and shops along the sides and the side streets here. We're going to go along the middle to see what it's like. You can get traditional Zori sandals, cute key rings, keychains, shaved ice, matcha. There's mochi here, tempura manju, plum, sesame and matcha. I used to always just cruise past all these shops because I expected in a location like this everything would be a tourist trap, and there are some shops selling touristy stuff, but there's a lot of good snacks here too, and they're not really overpriced, I don't think. Oh, you get a mini taiyaki on a skewer with a bean paste rice cake. The shop has Japanese clothes for dogs, including big dogs. Melon soda float, that looks nice. 600 yen. This store has user snacks. I like her lemon bag. I like that strawberry lantern over there. It's taking quite a while to get down that street. It is quite long, but we're also shuffling along with the crowd really slowly. There's buns, sweet and savoury, all different fillings. We've got takoyaki. The last time I was here was a few years ago now, when it was Setsubun, which is a festival for the start of spring. It was so crowded everywhere, and they have a ritual where they throw out beans to the crowd and everyone chants, what is it, demons out, good luck in. And here's the entrance to the main section of the temple. It's really big and imposing in person actually. And there's the 5-story pagoda. This is the spot where everyone's taking their pictures, including me now. This lantern is absolutely huge. You can hear everyone shaking the boxes to get their fortunes. Coming here really isn't the calm, zen, spiritual temple experience at all because it's so crowded, but the temple is large and imposing. It is beautiful and it's a different sort of experience. If you want to go to a calm, quiet temple, I'd recommend just dropping in on any small temple you spot on the map as you're walking around, because they're often a lot quieter and a lot calmer. Or go to a temple at night. They can be really nice and atmospheric as well. This is something that's changed. I think they've replaced some of the grass with astroturf. That's kind of a shame. It's not very good for the environment, but I guess the grass was just wearing out. I think we've accidentally photobombed so many people's kimono photo shoots. When you get up to the main hall of the temple, if you go left, there are some gardens to look round. We're going to go and see the koi carp. You can see the incense over there. It's there to purify yourself at the temple. You can't feed the koi carp here. I guess people would be feeding them all kinds of things they shouldn't really be eating. Who are these guys? It's a big cup. Oh, look at those dragon heads up there. That's a cool detail. The smell of incense is really strong over here. There are lots of hotels over here in Asakusa. It's quite different to the west side of the city in Shinjuku and Shibuya. There aren't as many skyscrapers. It's an older area of the city, and this part is quite touristy. You can get some lovely views of the river, and lots of people tell me in the comments they've really enjoyed staying here. For me, I find it a little bit out of the way because it's removed from the Yamanote line. It can take a little while to get around the city to other places. Personally, I prefer to stay in somewhere a little bit more well connected, but there are a lot of good things about Asakusa, and you can get bigger rooms in your hotel for a better price. There are lots of good food options around here too, and because it's a touristy place, they've got all the things that we as tourists want, places to eat. The temple's up there with the main street going that way. We've just come off onto a side street here. If the crowds get too much for you in that main area over there, it is a bit like a grid, so just move a couple of streets over and it's much more spacious, much fewer people over here. There are lots of places where you can rent kimonos. Rainy day deal, enjoy 3 free studio shots for each guest. Good tip. If you want to rent a kimono, I think it takes about an hour to get ready. There's a lot of layers to put on and it's quite complex. They do help you, but make sure you allow time for that. Look at this, it's an abacus shop. You don't see that every day. All sorts of abaci, including a Hello Kitty one. This cafe is selling candy apples. Look at all these different flavours. Cinnamon sugar, matcha, kineko, that's roasted soybean powder. There's some more kimono across the street above Yoshinoya. Across the road there's Ichiran, the popular ramen chain. There's convenience stores, karaoke, all the things you'd expect in major areas of Japan. So it's not all traditional and historic here. And if you look on the upper floors, there's lots of stuff up there too, probably lots more restaurants. Oh, there's Torikuzaku, there's a sushi restaurant.
KFC.
KFC, traditional Japanese KFC. Up there is Yay Kimono Rental. I know they definitely have a really nice selection of patterns. It would take me forever to decide which one to pick. There's Sushi Go Round, that's a conveyor belt sushi restaurant. And across the street, if you're with someone who doesn't like Japanese food, there's always Burger King. I wonder what that is, Bee Friendship. That's cute, and the menu's in a hexagon shape. They've got honey products, gifts, sweets, information about beekeeping, that's interesting. Ekimise is just across the street. That's a big department store with shops and probably more restaurants inside. There are quite a few stalls selling Wagyu beef. Just because it's Wagyu doesn't mean it's the top quality. Wagyu is protected, but I'm not sure if all of these would be genuine top quality beef like you'd be expecting. A5 is the top quality of Wagyu beef. That's the one with all the marbling and veins of fat like you imagine. So if you want to try it, just do your research first. Here's another kimono rental shop. Sakura Yuki, kimono rental 3,000 yen. And we're right by the river here. There's a vegan cafe back here. It's vegan and gluten-free. They've got karaage, tempura. Oh, you don't often see vegan versions of them. That sign there says these are Some Yoshino cherry blossom trees. So at the end of March, start of April, this would be beautiful along here. Where's the SkyTree gone? If you want to visit the SkyTree on a more rainy day, this is how it might look. I can't imagine you see a lot from the top there. There are various cruises you can go on the river that you get on from here. There's the Himiko bus that goes over to Odaiba and Toyosu. There was one that goes along to Hamarikyu Gardens, but it's not running at the moment. I did want to take that one. Here's some nice food models in a restaurant. Don't they look so realistic? And the prices, you can get spaghetti for 900 yen, fancy sandwiches for 800 yen, or a steak for 1,600 yen. Now we're going back past Senso-ji. There's the spot where everyone's taking pictures of Kaminarimon Gate. Let's cross over and see what's on the other side. Lots of rickshaw drivers along here. There's another kimono rental photo shoot place across there. They take walk-ins. I haven't tried it, but this restaurant says it has A5 rank Kobe beef. Nice cow bench. Here's Sushi Zanmai. That's a sushi chain, not conveyor belt, but quite quick, with the guy who always buys the really expensive tuna at the auction every year. Is what they've got. It's mainly nigiri and rolls at the bottom. They do have a couple of veggie options. It's starting to get less crowded going away from Senso-ji. Still lots of restaurants. This one's got eel, which always comes in these rectangular boxes on rice with savoury sauce. Oh, it's a bit more pricey. 2,500 yen for the smallest one, or 7,900 yen for the largest one. This is Orange Street, which has this hand mascot that you can spot along the street. I think it's something to do with palm reading. Here's the Sanrio store on Orange Street. There's a nice view down this side street. There's Micro Teacup Cafe where you can play with poodles. And over there's a pig cafe. I try and stay clear of all animal cafes just in case. Animal welfare is not always the top priority in Japan, unfortunately. At this restaurant, apparently you can eat the best Wagyu beef in Japan. They have halal meat, 7,400 yen for 3 types of rare cuts. Oh, there you are. Assortment of 6 types of A5 ranked beef, 14,800 yen, or 24,800 yen for the Beef Ninja Yakiniku Tower, A5 rank. You can get a boat of beef, a beef boat. Oh, there's the tower going up the steps. Just off Orange Street, this is Tanuki Street. We're going to have a look for some little raccoon statues. Here's the first one. Sometimes they have a mallet for good luck. It might be one of those twisty drums. Here's the next one. They're quite small. This restaurant's got tanuki on display as well. Is that a whole camembert on a salad? That's a bit much. Oh, there's loads of tanuki. They're in these red boxes all the way along the street. Here's a guide to the Tanuki. Maybe this says what they all mean. I don't think you really need a map to find them. They're just all the way along this street. It's Tanuki Cafe and Bar. And this is a cute glasses shop. Maybe you're supposed to rub the belly. This one's got angel wings. A sword. These ones are getting less traditional now. I'm surprised how much vegan and halal food there is around here. Oh, they got vegan katsu sandos and karaage. Wow. I guess they're good at catering for tourists in this area. And here's the last one holding a coin, just like Lucky Cats. Betty Boop, whoever owns this, loves the Pink Panther. They're all upstairs. I like the design of these signs. That one's cute, the takoyaki, ramen, Asakusa Beach karaoke. They've got an Orion lantern, that's a beer from Okinawa. And this street we're coming into now is Hoppy Street. Hoppy is a type of beer that was, it's watered down with something else. Oh, and here's a covered street to the side. There's a little gachapon store here. These are fancy looking gachapon machines in black, red and gold. All these little izakaya are covered over because of the rain. I expect this comes to life in the evenings. Well, there's a fair amount of people here now. Here's Rockstone, which has a Taito Station arcade inside. Let's go and have a look. How do you win that?
I assume you have to lift the top one and you win them all.
They must be kind of stuck on somehow. Oh look, there's an area for getting ready for Purikura. Here's Chikawa. What is that? A vibrating slob. What's this guy doing? You're not going to get very far, my friend. And I've seen these around a lot. You can vacuum pack your plushies if you win one that's big. Here in this covered shopping street, there's Kimono Can. It says you can rent without making a reservation. It's from 4,400 yen. You bring it back at 5:30 p.m. You can even buy a wedding kimono if you want a really fancy one. There's suitcases for sale if you've bought too much stuff. It's a purin shop. We tried purin in Atami and at Shirakawa-go. We're purin experts now. And taiyaki, that's one of my favorites. Always a must try in Japan. There's a monja restaurant, Monja Asakusa. Monjayaki is a bit like okonomiyaki, but it's more liquidy. It doesn't look that appealing, I've got to say. This section of the street is getting busier as we're heading back towards the Senso-ji direction. Oh, there's some more taiyaki here. That plushie one's cute. You can get 3D art lattes. Look, there's a Chikawa one and Hello Kitty, and they've got bubble tea. There's another okonomiyaki restaurant, so you cook your own at the table. Or sometimes the staff help you cook it at your table. Yanagi Chaya. This looks like a fancy cafe. They've got matcha tiramisu, roasted green tea tiramisu, that's hojicha. You can get matcha lattes. I was just saying the other day, I haven't seen that many places you can get matcha lattes when they're everywhere in the UK at the moment, but in Japan not quite as much. You can get lots of matcha ice cream though. Here's a shop selling Japanese knives. We are pretty close to Kappabashi, which is the kitchen utensils shopping area of Tokyo, so there might be a bigger choice there. Looks like some more okonomiyaki. Or general teppanyaki as well. There's the okonomiyaki, monjiyaki, and other dishes. And behind me there's sushi. So many restaurants, so many snacks. And another knife shop. I like how dark this shop looks. The displays of knives look really cool. You can travel with your knives on a plane if you put them in your checked luggage. This is Daruma Okonomiyaki. We went to it the other day in Monja Street near Toyosu. It was pretty good, and they made mine vegetarian as well. Kakigori is so good on a hot day. If you're here in Japan in summer, you'll definitely want some of this. Here's some more kimono rental. Kimono rental Arisa. They've got some really colourful ones in there. I like them. So pretty. Even on a rainy weekday, it's still really busy here because I think pretty much everyone who comes to Tokyo for the first time is going to want to come to Senso-ji in Asakusa, whatever you're interested in. It's one of the main things that pretty much everyone wants to go to. There's so much to eat around here, so many restaurants, so many snacks. I was impressed at the amount of vegan options and halal options and gluten-free things we saw. They're obviously used to foreigners coming along and want to cater for everyone. There's actually quite a lot to walk around here. At first glance, it seems like it's just the main shopping street going up to Senso-ji, but there's a whole grid of streets all with loads of shops and snacks to look round. If you're thinking about staying here, it is a good area. There's lots here. It's a very different vibe to other areas. It's quite touristy, a little bit older, but there's lots nearby. It is slightly removed from the Yamanote line, so think about that and how you'll get around to other areas of the city. Today it took us about 20 minutes on the train from Tokyo Station, and to get over to the other side, to the Shinjuku and Shibuya side, does take a little bit more time. While you're here, you can walk to Ueno in about half an hour, and on the way there's Kappabashi, which is Kitchen Street, that's got all cooking stuff, tableware, all sorts of things you've never even knew existed. You don't even have to be that into cooking to find it interesting. There's a video about that on my channel if you want to see more about it. I think some people who are coming to Japan as a family come and stay in Asakusa because there are some hotels with bigger rooms here. There are quite a few of these covered shopping streets. We're getting further away from Senso-ji now and it's getting a lot quieter. But these covered streets are good for a rainy day. I don't know if it's just everyone's crowding into them because it's raining. Up that way is more the regular centre of Asakusa. There's a really big Don Quixote there. Up ahead is the Samurai Ninja Museum. You can see samurai armour, you can throw ninja stars. They've got various activities. This bar, Kawabunga, has Ninja Turtle themed cocktails. Special original cocktail by a bartender of American comics lover.
I hope you enjoyed this walk around with us. Lots of the places in this video are of course included in my Japan trip planning deck that you can use to plan your itinerary. Each card has essential details on the back to have in your pocket with you in Japan. The link's in the description and I ship worldwide. Thank you for your orders. I'll see you next week with more Japan videos every Thursday.